Hello, and welcome to Bottom Line. I'm Cindy Keynes. We have a very informative and important show today. We're going to be talking about how to live without fear. And we're going to talk about domestic violence. And I'd like to welcome my guest for today's show, Jennifer Porter. She is the Director of Development and Marketing with an amazing nonprofit, Haven. Jennifer, welcome to Bottom Line.
Cindy, thanks so much for having us today. We're excited to share what we do here at Haven and educate our community a little bit more.
Absolutely. And again, it's just an amazing nonprofit that's been out there. Maybe people might not know the history and how did Haven get started?
Yeah, well, Haven is actually about to enter into our 50th year serving Oakland County. We started in 1975, originally with our counseling services and our prevention education services. And then we added shelter, our court advocacy program, eventually our forensic nursing program. And now we are almost to our 50th year. And we offer, over 25,000 services a year to survivors right here in Oakland County.
That is just amazing. And also for people who are watching who now are a little bit familiar with the history, what is the mission of Haven? What does Haven try to do for people out there trying to live without fear?
Yeah, definitely. So Haven is Oakland County's agency for comprehensive services for intimate partner violence or sexual assault. A lot of people know intimate partner violence as domestic violence. Comprehensive services really include our counseling, prevention education, forensic nursing exams, shelter, connecting people to community resources. And our goal and our mission is to eradicate intimate partner violence and sexual assault. Hopefully our job is to put us out of jobs one day, really. And so that our communities can be safe and healthy and thriving without intimate partner violence and sexual assault.
And can you help us, Jennifer, with maybe a couple definitions for people who are watching? What would be considered domestic violence?
Yeah, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, we take that a little step further. Intimate partner violence is any kind of power and control over someone that you're in an intimate partner relationship with. So that could be emotional abuse, that could be sexual abuse, that could be physical abuse, it could be financial abuse. There's a lot of ways that intimate partner violence can present itself. Within your household. Actually, 1 in 3 families within Michigan deal with some sort of intimate partner violence or domestic violence. And so what Haven really focuses on are those intimate relationships. You're in a relationship with a partner, that mother, daughter, parent, child. That's the relationship that we focus on there.
Okay. And if we look at that, when we talk about domestic violence, as you mentioned, it could be even financially if you have to rely on someone financially to live. But let's talk a little bit maybe more of the in partner type of domestic violence where it might be more physical. Can you talk a little bit about how that gets approached in your 24-hour crisis line that I know is available for that?
Yes. So every service that Haven offers starts with a call to our crisis line or a chat to our crisis line. And so when somebody calls that crisis line that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, someone will always pick up the phone. And so those calls look a little different every time somebody calls. That could be someone needing emergency services. They might need a place to stay. They might need safety plan. They might need just information on what services are available so that they can create a plan for themselves or for their family or for a friend and help really empower people within that situation. And so that crisis line is the best place to start with a call or a chat. You can go to our website and chat. You can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and someone will be there to listen and to hear you and to help you get resources on the other line.
And I want to ask too, I'm guessing it's anonymous as well. If someone wants to remain anonymous, of course, to get information, especially, or to exit out of a terrible situation they might have at home.
100%. Everything is anonymous. And while we do serve mostly Oakland County residents, we will take anyone who can come to Haven too. if you are seeking shelter and you're fleeing an emergency situation, you might live in Wayne County, but Wayne County might not be safe for you right now. And so if you can come to Haven and find that refuge, we are here to help too. We also assist survivors fleeing from different states. But everything is anonymous. You can provide your information. You don't have to. Again, we're a safe place for you to come and to be and to start that healing process.
And when someone calls and they're in a domestic violence situation that they're trying to get out of, what do you find that it takes them to finally call the crisis line?
Well, I think that is, it takes a lot for somebody to call the crisis line. First and foremost, that person is very brave. They are finally looking for a way to empower themselves and to make those decisions for themselves and to really begin that healing journey and take back that power, take back that control of their life and their situation. And so anyone calling the crisis line, that is met with kindness and care and resources and a listening ear. And so really people, to make that first step, it's scary. It is, it's not easy, but just know that we have trained experts here in trauma care and that we are here to listen and to hear you and to believe you when you say and share your experiences. That person on the other line has heard everything and they are willing to help. And so really just knowing that there's a safe place for you to go.
Right. And I think you mentioned that the person is so brave to do that, because I know it probably is to, a really difficult situation where they're actually going to reach out, for help. And if someone's reaching out and they do need the help, I don't want to always assume it's just women, calling. Could be women, men, or teens even that might be calling.
Yeah, at Haven, we service everyone. Everyone is welcome here in our doors, 0 to 100, not only for intimate partner violence, but for sexual assault. We do have forensic nurses here on our staff that instead of going to a hospital where you might have to tell your story multiple times, or you might have to tell that story with others listening on the other side, that you don't want to hear that story, or you want to be in charge of your own decisions and your own healthcare. Haven has a place here on site that we will do those forensic exams. And again, those exams are for everyone. Our services are for everyone. Anyone here is welcome here at Haven.
And just to maybe expand a bit, when you mentioned that, forensic team and someone there to help them rather than going to a hospital, is this something, as I've heard, with the news, like a rape kit type thing? Is it something that if something is needed in court later on, or it can be used, or if someone needs, that kind of health care, they can get it?
Yes, 100%. So everything we do is the same at your hospital. We have those forensic nurses here on staff. If you're not comfortable coming to Haven, we will meet you at an Oakland County hospital too. But our nurses are trained, they're certified, just like anybody else. They can testify in court. We will collect the same kits and information. We will do with those what you ask for them to be done. So you don't have to release them. There are some caveats to that when it comes to pediatrics, but you don't have to release those for investigation or to law enforcement. However, they will always be here at Haven, ready when you are. And same kind of process as you would go through in a hospital setting. It's just a little bit more intimate here at Haven. But if you're already at a hospital and you want somebody to come out from Haven, we are more than welcome to, or more than happy to do that. We have a lot of partnerships with our Oakland County hospitals as well, or nursing home facilities. Sometimes there will be survivors there, or instances there, or we don't typically do anything outside of that. That's kind of the main area. We also do strangulation exams when it comes to intimate partner violence as well, because there's a high lethality rate when it comes to strangulation within intimate partner violence.
Really? Which is a shame to hear,
100%.
that's so prevalent out there.
Yes. And so,
You mentioned if someone's going to call the line and say I need to remove myself. Let's talk maybe if we could about what would they, if they're not familiar, what happens next? How do I get out? If I can get to a Haven location, what's the next day or the next few days? And then maybe we can talk about if they're bringing children, of course, with them.
yes, definitely. So when someone calls, we have a questionnaire that we go through to answer some basic questions to make sure that you really are a fit for Haven. If there's a lot of different circumstances and a lot of different things at play when they come in. And so when somebody calls, we want to make sure that we are finding the best situation for that person. But if somebody calls, they come to Haven, they are welcomed by one of our shelter advocates. And they go through kind of an intake process, and they may come with nothing. So they'll shop for those basic needs: shampoo, bedding, clothing. Same for their children if they're bringing children. And we create that environment. You don't have to come with anything. A lot of times people don't. They don't come with anything. They might not come with a license or their social security card or anything. And so Haven will help you over the next few days, next few weeks to get back on your feet. Everything we do here at Haven is completely free, and we are just here to help. And so when you come in, we're going to take care of the rest. So if you have a kiddo in diapers, you don't have to worry about packing diapers. We will have them here for you. We have 16 rooms here on site. We have a pet shelter. So I know a lot of people are worried about leaving or fleeing because of their pets. Those are part of your family. You can bring your pets here to Haven with you. For children, we have a child development specialist on site. We will help get them enrolled in school. If you want to enroll them within the Pontiac district, that's where we're located. Or you can stay in your district and we'll work out transportation for you, for your kids to continue to go to school. We have a play facility on site. We have a kitchen available, so you don't have to bring anything. You don't have to worry about anything while you're here. And then we will help you plan for the future. We will help you figure out what are the next steps for housing? What are the next steps for financially for yourself? And we will really work to empower you on your goals and what your mission is when you leave here at Haven. Sometimes people stay 2 days. Sometimes people stay 90 days. The average stay here at Haven is about 30 to 45 days. And so during that time, people are really engaging in what is needed to get them on their feet to live successfully. Now, that doesn't mean Haven services stop after they leave our shelter. That still continues with those community resource partnerships, our counseling program. A lot of times our social advocates as well, helping with the court process, whether that be a PPO or the victim statements or just another ear to hear your story and listen and help you guide you through that process. So there's a lot of different services here at Haven. And every time somebody comes through our doors, it looks differently because we really have that individual care for the people that are coming in. And we want to make sure that they are getting the best service possible and that they're safe and that they're healthy.
And that's amazing because, Jennifer, the thing I keep thinking about every time, as you mentioned the word Haven is such a wonderful name for the organization because it's a haven for people to go to feel safe. Yeah. And I can't, what you were saying, and I can't imagine, someone has to leave. And like you said, they can know now they can leave with nothing. They can just get out and protect themselves or their children, can bring their pets. Even if they don't have a driver's license, a social security card. And I think that to me can be so, helpful, where they feel like they can actually, like you said, take control and not have to worry about some of those things and get themselves out of a bad situation quickly. You mentioned Haven and some 16 beds and locations there. How does that location stay anonymous as well? For instance, I'm trying to, think about all the things that maybe someone who's fleeing might say, am I going to be safe?
Yes, definitely. So with technologies these days and the internet, unfortunately, our address here at Haven is not anonymous. But we have safety precautions in place. We are a gated facility. We are Key Code facility, we are located right by the Oakland County buildings and right by the Oakland County Sheriff's Office as well. And so we have safety precautions in place when you come to Haven, so that you are safe, you are protected. And we do ask, survivors obviously not to share their location with their abuser or their family. They can tell their family they're safe, but we ask that they're kind of keeping themselves and their family here. However, we have many survivors that continue to go to work every day or continue to take their kids to school every day. And so, again, we have those safety precautions in place for people to continue to live normal lives, but to be safe here at Haven, and for them to know that they have a place to rest their head at night, or a place to go, that they're in control. They're making those decisions for themselves.
And I think that's wonderful too, as you share some of those stories, in the sense that, maybe someone can go back to their job. They can, have their child continue to school, but they don't have to go home at night to the abusive place. They could come back to Haven and stay there until they can get up on their feet. And I'm curious, from what you've seen over so many years, is there any kind of trends do you see? Do you see more, people coming just themselves or with children, or just kind of curious what you see happening these days?
Yeah, we've seen an uptick in pediatric sexual assaults recently. The demographic that comes through our shelter is varied. Same with our counseling services. It could be an individual, it could be a family, it could be someone just like you and me, right? It happens to everyone. And when you think about it, you probably know somebody it's already happened to, or it's happened to yourself. And so the uptake really has been in pediatric sexual assault cases that we have seen. We are seeing a wait list for our counseling services, unfortunately, right now, as well. Our shelter is full. We have all kinds of people within our shelter right now. We have families, we have individuals, we have, somebody with just a pet with them, or just themselves. So we haven't seen necessarily any specifics, because it really does happen to everyone. And so that's kind of the thing that we are seeing right now. We are seeing increased cases of intimate partner violence and sexual assault right now. But it doesn't affect just one person, one demographic. It's everyone.
Right. And it could be anyone who needs to find a safe haven to go to. Now, you did mention your counseling services. Can someone participate in, and I know you said there might be a wait list, but even if someone doesn't want to exit out of the situation yet, but they want some help to guide them, so when they know they can be ready, is that part of what the counseling will help them with as well?
100%. And so anyone who calls you'll go through that crisis line. You'll talk about your experiences, your scenarios, what you are wanting to do in that moment. And if you're just not ready to leave yet, we can help you plan for that safe exit. You know your situation the best. You know your abuser the best. And so we have a great team from our social advocates that will help with that safety planning, and then with that counseling too. You do not have to do all Haven services. You can do one Haven service. You could do just a PPO, a personal protective order, or you could just be in shelter, or you could just do counseling, or you could do everything that Haven has to offer. But again, we're going to empower that survivor to make those decisions for themselves, and we will be here to help guide them through that process.
And I think that's such a key item that you mentioned. Personal protection orders, you mentioned that you can be a court advocate for them, because sometimes I'm sure they're wondering, how am I going to afford a lawyer? Or how do I get the help I need to protect myself or my children through that? So I think those are such amazing, things that Haven offer, to that. Are there other things that Haven might offer that someone might not realize who's watching the show?
Yeah, we have a lot of great partnerships within our community, actually, because Haven is one resource. We can't be the only resource, and we're not the only resource here. We partner with Lakeshore Legal Aid for that for those legal instances, we partner with Care House. We partner with Honor Community Health when it comes to maybe medical care and attention. You might not have had a physical for years and years just because you can't get out of the house, or you can't do that, or you're worried about so many other things that you haven't taken care of yourself or your kids maybe, or those that are most important. And so really Haven will help survivors connect to those additional resources, whatever it might be that we can't do. Maybe it's additional long-term food services or clothing that you might be already living on your own, and you might need additional resources when it comes to food or clothing. And so we'll assist with connecting people to places like Forgotten Harvest or other locations. Or if somebody does get a new apartment or a new residence, we've partnered with Humble Design before to make sure that home is furnished. And so we are really that one-stop shop, but we'll partner with other agencies and nonprofits in the area to make sure that we are looking at the whole person and all the needs.
And one thing I wanted to highlight is you also help with individuals who might need deaf services, correct?
Yes, correct. We have a partnership with DeafCan. And so if someone is hard of hearing or hearing impaired, they can utilize the chat line. Or we will call and partner with DeafCan so that they bring an interpreter out on site and that we can clearly communicate. We also partner with the language line for those that might not speak English as their first language. And so that language line offers additional languages. On our website, we are actually working on a new website, hopefully launching soon, and we'll have a plugin called Recite Me for 100 plus languages, as well as for the neurodiverse community too. So that might be colorblindness or dyslexia, and so that everyone can have access to the information that Haven is providing. And when they come in, then we will, bring in someone that from DeafCan or another partner to help with the language barrier or the sign language that might be needed.
So Jennifer, what might be sisters, brothers, moms, dads, friends that could look for signs that maybe there's some kind of domestic violence going on with a family member or a friend? What are some things maybe we could look out for?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest signs is somebody who is accident prone, that maybe has bruises or different stages of healing happening at one time. They're usually a little bit more skittish. They might not want to talk about things. They might want to just be more in the shadows. But again, this could happen to anyone, and somebody else could just be living their normal life and acting completely normal. However, there are a lot of things to look out for when it comes to, maybe they're having issues at work. Maybe they're late or they're tardy or they're having to leave early or they're, different scenarios are happening where they seem to be a little bit more or less responsive. And so when that's happening, you never want to tell a person what to do or how to just leave, right? That used to be the big saying, just leave. Well, sometimes it's not that easy to just leave. And so again, it goes back to that person knowing their situation the best. But again, Haven can provide those safety plans, looking at what is happening, how we can help, how we can safely exit someone from a situation like that. Friends and family members are welcome to call our crisis line as well to gather more information on how to help someone. However, we will want that survivor to call themselves because everything that Haven does is based on an empowerment model. And so we want to empower that survivor to make that decision for themselves, to take that first step of getting their control back or their power back for their situation. And so there's a lot of things that people can do, providing a non-judgmental environment for a survivor, just a listening ear, providing resources. But that's exactly, kind of what we're looking at here.
Yeah. And that's wonderful, because I think what you said there is terrific, in the sense that I or anyone can call the crisis line and could say, hey, can you help me coach me through this? I have a family member, I have somebody, what do I say? How do I approach them? What not to do, and so that way, even people who want to help might know how to do it in the right way.
Exactly.
And speaking of people helping, I'd like to find out, how do people, if they want to volunteer, what kind of volunteers could you use at Haven?
Yeah, we can use a lot of different volunteers. We have volunteer opportunities for individuals, for corporate groups, for other, we've had school groups come out. And so there's things like cleaning up our garden, or creating family game nights or movie nights, or just providing fun activities for the kids that are here. There's also volunteer opportunities to utilize your skill set. So you might be a great resume writer, or you might have HR experience so that you can help with interview skills, or you might like to process data. We have all those kind of administrative tasks as well. We have just general cleanup. We have anything from, welcoming people into Haven as at our reception desk. We have Child Watch. Part of the counseling program is our Child Watch, so that the parents can really focus on their counseling that's happening. So you can come in and watch the kiddos for an hour while counseling happens. So there's a lot of different opportunities on our website. You can sign up to be a volunteer, and then you'll go kind of through that process of a background check and questionnaire and things like that. There's also events that you can volunteer for. We have our back to school bash coming up. We have our summer adventure coming up. And so providing opportunities for to come out and just be with the kids and help us with events.
That's amazing, because like I said, basically whatever somebody's skill has or whatever time they have would be helpful, and Haven would welcome it. That's for sure.
100%.
Well, one last question I want to ask is just about fundraising. So, because you're 401c, it's a nonprofit, 501c nonprofit. What can people do to help raise funds or help Haven financially?
Yeah, so there's always, again, those events always have sponsorship opportunities for them. You can give generally on an individual basis on our website, and it goes directly to client services. You can purchase things off of our Amazon wish list, which is listed on our website as well. You can do fun events. We've had people that are turning 40. They run 40 miles for Haven, and they donate those funds, or they plan a golf outing and they donate the funds to Haven. So there's a lot of opportunities when it comes to fundraising to match your goals and align with Haven's mission. And so people can reach out directly to me, and we can talk more about creative solutions or how we can support your individual financial goals too, while also giving to Haven.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for your passion and what you do for Haven, and all the wonderful people at Haven and the volunteers that have helped so far. I think people who are watching, or even friends of people who might know something's going on, they can help and maybe help them, steer them toward Haven. So again, Jennifer, thank you so much for your time and expertise today.
Thank you for having us.
And I thank our audience for watching. I'm Cindy Keynes, and I hope you know that Haven is out there if you need it, or you know someone who might. Have a wonderful day.